Come on, jump up there. Come on. Climb up there. What are you doing? Come on. Oh my gosh. Yes. Get the rope. Get the finish. Bash him. Bash him. Bash him good. Come on. All right. Some damage.
Hadouken!
Get the treasure. Psst. Oh, Psst. Come on.
Psst. Hey, you.
Huh?
Yeah, you. Can you hear me? Yeah. You like video games? By any chance? Yeah, you do, don't you? You like movies as well? Yeah, you do. But what if I told you we got a movie with a video game with it? What would you think about that? Yup, you got it all right. No, no, no. It's not Indiana Jones. No, no, no. Definitely not. No Tomb Raider either. Yes, you got it all right. It is the Uncharted movie. This is the new one. So get ready for a review, everyone, because it's going to be a doozy. Starting right now.
Yes, guys, you heard it right. Uncharted, the movie, is finally here. And I'm going to tell you what I thought about it. No spoilers right now, and then I'll cut to the part with the spoiler talk as well about the movie. Yeah. So straight up, let me just start out with with no spoilers about the plot of the movie. It's from the series of video games from the PlayStation era, PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. It's a young Nathan Drake, okay, street smart Nathan Drake, and his wisecracking partner Victor Sullivan, okay, embark on a dangerous pursuit of the greatest treasure ever found, while also tracking clues that may lead to Nathan Drake, long lost brother. So that's what the plot of the movie is, to sum it up, okay. So it's taking stuff from Uncharted 4 and changing it up. So it's sort of a prequel, but not a prequel. They're trying to do their own thing while also pleasing the audience about things they put into it. I'll tell you in the next one in more detail. But that's the premise of the whole movie. Pretty much saw this movie, and because I'm a huge Uncharted fan, and I grew up playing Uncharted when I was in my teens, and Uncharted has been a big influence on me personally, as you can see in anything that I do. And I even use the logo Sic Parvis Magna, the thing they always use, greatness from small beginnings, because that's my motto from Uncharted pretty much. And I think it's a great motto, and I've been using it ever since. I'm a huge fan of the games, and this is why I want to explain myself more about this movie, as well as, you know, it's on my Letterboxd. You guys can check my review on there as well. I reviewed it, gave my rating. You can check it out on there as well. But the thing is, right now, I'm going to tell you, This movie is a meh. It's not bad, but it's not good. It's like an in-betweener. If I had to choose, it would be more close to a lower grade than an up. But I would say it's like almost right smack in the middle. I can see why people would like it that have never played the games before. I can see why. But it's very, very safe of what the story is telling you of a pulp adventure genre movie like Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider games and the movies. It's very close to that. You're finding treasure, historical relics, and you have characters, and you defeat the villain, and that's pretty much it. That's what the movie is. So that's what it is. You know what you're getting. So no big things going on besides the high budget set pieces in the movie. Sorry guys about my voice. I have a little sinus going on right now. My throat's itchy. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's not, how do I explain it? It's not what Uncharted fans want, but they do sprinkle a little bit in there for the fans. But it's not what we wanted of the movie. Okay, so let me get this straight. All right, so the casting. We got Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. I appreciate what Tom Holland did with Nathan Drake. I'm okay with a young Drake. I'm okay with that. That's fine. It could be a prequel series to the games. That would be awesome. I wouldn't care. Do its own thing. But, he's trying. You can see he's trying. He's good at what he does. You could see he's trying real hard. And I appreciate what Tom has done. But there's some clips of him talking. And
I assume you've played this game.
I have played this game. This game was actually my first introduction into the Uncharted world.
Okay. As with many people, I played this game on my YouTube channel. I played through the whole thing.
Okay.
So many people had never seen Uncharted before, and this was kind of the one that exploded. I mean, this is probably the reason why the movie's made.
Yeah, I think this game is the one that we took most inspiration from.
Right.
This game is so cinematic, and its story is so adventurous and exciting.
Yeah.
That a lot of this game is what inspired our film.
Yeah. You play young Drake in the movie, but we're going to be playing as the older Drake, as Nolan North.
And yeah, that's why I really think he should have researched more into Nathan Drake and maybe talk to Nolan North, who's the real Nathan Drake, the voice and everything for the character. He should have played all the games in order, not just 4, all of them. Play it through 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe Lost Legacy, but it's not needed because he's just playing Drake. But I can see what he wanted to do with the character, and I appreciate what he did. So I'm okay with Tom Holland. He was okay. I approve. But he could have done more with Drake. All right. So the next one, Mark Wahlberg. Whew. Mark Wahlberg. I don't know what I could say about Mark. He was a disappointment. I would say he was the person I least wanted to come in this movie because I feel like he's just a bad cast member for this movie. He doesn't fit the role as Victor Sullivan. He just feels like a douche, an unlikable character, in my opinion. Doesn't feel like Sully whatsoever until the very end. I'll get into more of that in the spoiler portion of this video. But yeah, he was a missed opportunity cast member, and they should have got someone older, I would say, or just a different character for Sully. Okay, for the next one is Sophia Al. She played Chloe. she was really good. I really liked how she portrayed Chloe. She was probably one of the better ones of the cast members, and I was okay with. Like, even from the trailers I saw her, I thought she looked fine. She just needs more character development, more chemistry with Drake and Sully. It felt very rushed, in my opinion. She felt like she had to be put there because it's a character everyone remembers and everyone cares about. But she felt very rushed, if that makes sense. She really did. All right. Antonio Banderas and Tati Gabriel. I don't know if I said that right. Maybe I butchered it. I feel bad for Antonio Banderas so bad in this movie, guys. Missed opportunity for him. He had not much screen time. He was a good villain from what I saw. He could have been more, but he felt very underused, and I felt really bad for him. Same with the girl, the mercenary lady. She was pretty much Nadine. In that matter, she played like Nadine from the games. But she was underused as well. She didn't have no motivation. Like, even Antonio Banderas didn't have motivation as well. They were just bad for the sake of being bad. They don't make no sense whatsoever. Yeah, they were just really bad villains and did not help the story whatsoever to make it. I don't know. Just, the villains were just bad. There you go. If this was a movie, you told me, you know, after the games and they made a movie, I would have said, nope. The games are good as they are. They're part of art and they're very cinematic in general. And you can't copy that because it's already an homage to Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider, what the games did. So that's what it is. So that I don't understand how you can make a movie, you know, a high budget movie out of it with only 2 hours when the games are 20-25 hours long, with so much rich lore and story and character development. But the movie is so rush, you know, point A to point B, set piece, opening the tomb, find this, find that. It's too much in just 2 hours. It's just too much. There's too much going on. And that's the problem of the movie. You can't stop because it's just rush, constantly just action piece to action piece. And maybe like a small part where they're finding a tomb. Oh, they're in trouble. Oh, you know, they're going to be saved. Oh, it's like that's a lot of that going on. So that's also kind of what I'm saying. There were parts in Uncharted where you just, you know, you walked around, you talked to people, you started climbing. There was no climbing whatsoever in the whole movie. And which Uncharted has a lot of climbing if you played the games. Yeah, so that was a bummer. I would say video game movies are getting better, but to a point where they're still not that good. They're getting better though. They're getting more recognized by Hollywood, trying to make a better video game adaptation of a movie, which is okay, but I feel like this should have been a show. If you want to make an adaptation about a treasure hunter and all these characters and all this lore and backstory and stuff, you can't put it in a 2-hour movie. You just can't. So I would say maybe they should have not taken some of the games, made a prequel to Nathan Drake in his 20s, did like their own kind of story in like a pre-show, an origin story for Nathan Drake. I think that would have been even better because you have some source material, but don't put it in there. Like there were parts in the game they ripped out and put it into the movie. It was just, I don't want to spoil too much, but it's just so much of that. And I thought they would just do something different, which they kind of did at the very end, but it wasn't what I was expecting. It was just, I don't know. This could have been the next 2 steps forward of the next Indiana Jones movie. It could have been the next pulp adventure movie that we all needed and we missed so much, like Indiana Jones was. It could have been like that. But unfortunately, it was 2 steps back, I would say. And it doesn't feel like a classic like Indiana Jones is going to be. But who knows? Who knows? They might make sequels. And maybe it'll be better. But this is a bad introduction to Uncharted in general. And I'm sorry for people that like this movie, like to the fullest, 5 stars, 10 stars, whatever, you have like a really good rating. I'm sorry for you, because you should play the games. After you watch this movie, play all 4 of the games, even Lost Legacy. Play that too, the DLC. And then come back here and see if you like the movie or not. Because I feel like you're going to be liking the games even more than what this movie showed. It's the problem is a lot of people don't play these games and they just give out a movie. If you didn't put the name Uncharted on it, I'm seeing it right now. If you didn't put the name Uncharted smack on the poster and you called it Fortune Hunters or whatever, or any other movie, I would have thought this is a generic, movie about, treasure hunters, like a heist, treasure hunters, and stuff like that, like an Indiana Jones. But you put Uncharted on it, and then you're like, oh, so you're intriguing. Now it's intriguing because you're trying to get an audience, a part of the audience that's played the games, and they want to see what the director has made on the big screen. So this movie, you could put something completely different and it wouldn't even be Uncharted. It wouldn't even feel like Uncharted. That's the problem, what I have with this movie. That's literally what it is. It doesn't feel like Uncharted. There are parts in there that are trying to pull on you that this is Uncharted. But it's not really fully Uncharted. It's trying to be Uncharted. That's what it is. But I appreciate that they didn't put any, I wish they, oh wait, okay, before I said that anything, rewind. Okay. I wish they took some risks on here, but they went safe with it. They could have done something a bit different. It's very, you know what's going to happen in the story. You just feel it. You see that happening. It's that kind of feeling. But I wish they took some risks. They went safe with it. That's the problem. That's why it's a meh. But I appreciate they didn't put any stupid ass woke stuff in this movie like a lot of movies have been having recently. Like in Star Wars and like Terminator and a bunch of all these movies, classic movies, with just stupid ass woke stuff that no one cares about. I appreciate that at least. They didn't put anything BS in this. So that's definitely a plus. I give that a thumbs up because a lot of movies have been doing that and it's pissing me off, guys. It really is. Straight up. I'm just being real with you guys. All right, guys. So, spoilers. All right. So this is the spoiler talk. If you guys don't want to see this part of the video, I would recommend you guys see the movie and then come back here and watch this part of the movie. This is the spoiler talk now. All right. So here we go. The movie's bad, but it's okay. Let's start with that. So it's a meh. Okay. So it starts out the movie with Nathan Drake waking up and he's hanging by the boxes you see in the trailer with the plane scene from Uncharted 3. Okay, so it starts up, he jumps on the boxes, there's a shootout, people are shooting on, bam, 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 bam. He goes on top, gets hit by a car, and then he falls off. The car hits him, and he falls off the plane. Then we get flashback. To him when he was younger, with Sam, his brother. They're both young, and they're at the orphanage, like in the 4th game. Okay, so they had the third game with the plane, and now it's the Uncharted 4. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. And then, you know, he leaves, Sam leaves, you never see Sam again. And for some reason, Nathan Drake, he works as a bartender at some bar or club. And he's just a thief. He pickpockets people and stuff. And Sully out of nowhere comes and he's like, okay, I want to talk to you, whatever. And I know Sam, and he told me about this treasure you guys been searching for since you were kids. And I have the clues, and this is what Sam would want. And Drake's like, I'm not going to do this. Who are you? And then Sully goes, yeah, I knew Sam. I'm cool with him. Okay, it's not in the games, but all right, we're going there. So he goes there. He finds all this information. He calls him back. They go and get the cross, which they find Antonio Banderas. He's like part of like a bloodline, and his heritage is that gold, and he's trying to get the gold, that his treasure, so he needs the cross. So they go into an auction house, try to grab the cross, they steal it, and then you find out the mercenary girl's there, and she works for Antonio Banderas, and all that stuff going on. And then they find a clue, and then they go to Barcelona, and then they find a tomb, and then they start doing this tomb stuff with Chloe out of nowhere just teams up, and she says, hi, I'm with Sully and whatever. I'm like, okay, what the heck? And she steals the cross or whatever, and she's like, oh, I don't know what to do. And then Drake tries to be Drake, and he's like, oh, you need me, because how are you going to open the tomb, because you don't have this and that. He has all the information up in here. He's a geek. He's a nerd with all the historian stuff, like, you know, like Lara Croft is in Tomb Raider. And they do a tomb. This tomb was super simple, super not complex, nothing like the games. You feel like the games are way better when you're trying to solve the puzzles. They're just a little bit, they're just way better. This was just stupid, and it was trying to, they went inside a church, an underground base, and then this and that, and they used the cell phone for high tech, and she comes, the mercenary, and Sully starts beating her, and it's just so dumb, that part. They look like they're gonna die, and they don't, because the water comes up, and right when they're about to get, like, the water starts coming up, they're below the tomb, underground. Sully opens the door hatch, and they escape. Whatever. Chloe's okay. Drake saves her life. For Chloe, pretty much, she drowns, but Drake goes back and saves her. Then they find another clue, and then they find a map, and then Chloe goes with the gun and says, oh, you shouldn't have trusted me. Now give me the map. So she betrays them. Okay. But you find out that she's working for Antonio Banderas, and so is the mercenary, so there's two people working for him. And they try and get the map back. So Antonio Banderas gets a whole crew of mercenaries on a plane to go to that area where that thing is on the map, like a cave on the coast of Barcelona or whatever, Spain. I'm not sure where, but yeah. And when the movie's like, oh, there's a twist. So they jump onto the ship. Everyone's on the ship, on the giant plane. And Antonio Banderas tells about his lore and why he's the owner of all that gold and all that. And out of nowhere, the mercenary woman, Ralik, I don't know what her name is. She comes over and cuts his throat. Antonio Banderas dies on the floor. And she just takes over. Apparently, she murdered Sam. I don't know how, but she murdered Sam. Apparently, that's what the story is. And she's like, oh, I'm going to murder this next Drake, and I'm going to take the treasure. It doesn't make no sense whatsoever. I don't understand what's the motivation for the villains, okay? They just want to take the treasure, I guess. I don't know. So Antonio Banderas dies. He's done. And then that whole sequence comes. They capture Chloe. Chloe, I guess, is rogue now, whatever. And she hits... Now, the whole sequence with the plane, he injects the thing. Sully leaves, takes the map. Drake just opens this plane thing and all the boxes come out and Uncharted 3, scene. And when they show the mercenary woman fighting Chloe while Drake is climbing up. So they have a different point of view when they started the movie with the flashback, in the beginning where he just wakes up. So this time you see Chloe's point of view while fighting the mercenary on the plane. Chloe's going in the car. She hits Drake because she's in the car, and she falls down, and Drake too. The plane just keeps on going. The plane doesn't get destroyed like in Uncharted 3. It just keeps on going. It's just the back end of the plane is just loose because the air dock or whatever. And then Drake falls. He grabs. It's the same scene. He goes in the car. For some reason, he goes on the car, and Chloe's like, "Holy shit! What are you doing here, Drake?" And then he's like, "I don't know. I'm asking you the same thing." And then they just jump out, and then they grab a crate. He pulls the thing. The parachute comes out of the crate, and they land into the water. So now Chloe and Drake are there. They go on and then they just drift to land for some reason. Okay. And then this is the best part in the whole movie. So there's a cameo, and guess who it is? It's Nolan North, the real Nathan Drake himself. So he goes on there. They go, they're at like some kind of beach, and they coming out of the beach, and Nolan North's just chilling in one of those like chairs, drinking his tequila. I don't know what he's drinking. Some alcohol, probably some juice, probably because of the movie. And he's just hanging, and he's like, "Oh, you guys look like shit. What happened?" He's like, "We fell out of a plane with the car, and with the crane, and with a parachute, and yeah." And then Nolan North's like, "Yeah, sounds familiar. Sounds like I've done that one before too, or something." And then he's like, "Hi." And then they just go away, pass by, and then he's like, "Good luck, guys, out there." And it's like, oh, dude, that was so cool. I love that. It's breaking the immersion. It's so good. That was the best part. I like that part. And after that, chested Tom Holland, no shirt. For some reason, this movie has his shirt off a lot. He's showing his physique. He's solving clues, and he's putting all stuff together, and he's like, he's on the map and everything, and then on that, and then Chloe gets betrayed, or Drake knew he's gonna betray Chloe again. Once again, she leaves. He gives him a bad point of view of where the treasure is, and he gets a boat and goes to the cave for some reason, and then he goes on the cave, and this giant pirate ship, the old school pirate ships, with full of treasure inside like barrels and stuff. And then somehow Sully appears there. He knows, and he's like, "Oh, where's the treasure?" For the whole movie, Sully is such a douchebag. He doesn't play like Sully. There's moments where he's kind of like Sully, but he's just fully douche. I don't like Mark Wahlberg. He was so bad. I don't even see him as Drake anymore. That's how bad he was. I'm sorry. He's so bad. Yeah, hopefully he changes that in the second movie, because he's just completely the worst. He's unlikable, not friendly until the very end. He comes, what's her name comes, the mercenary. She takes all the things. They get helicopters, and they have grappling hooks and stuff, and then lift the two ships up and take all the gold while the ships are. And Drake and Sully are on the ships. They have like a beatdown. They start fighting all the mercenary guys and all that. And then it's just, there's some point where this is the stupidest part of the whole movie. I thought it was really dumb. So he gets the holster with his gun. He takes it off one mercenary guy underneath. And then you hear, do, 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 and he starts shooting out. Just get shoot out, because he never uses a gun the whole movie. He only fist fights, Even at that one part where he's in the club dancing with Chloe in the bar scene with the Scottish guy. But I forgot that part too. That's what happened too while they were exploring tombs and all that. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, so they're fighting. Sully goes on top. He takes over the helicopter and he's doing that. And Reddick or whatever, the mercenary lady, she fights Drake, one-on-one battle. But Sully has a bag of gold. And then Drake's trying to climb up because the ship's falling apart. And she's coming to the lady, the mercenary lady. And he throws the gold at her. He's like, oh, take my hand. So he looks at the gold and he looks at Drake. And Sully's like, oh, screw it. He throws the gold at the lady. She falls into the water. And he grabs Drake's hand. And then the ship falls. And the lady that's in the water, the mercenary lady, the ship falls on her and she just gets crushed by the ship. Yeah, that's how she dies. It's pretty dumb. And then they lose the gold and they're like, oh, we're screwed. We didn't get the gold. They just run out, you know, into the sunset. They go in the helicopter. And Drake just pulls out a bunch of gold nuggets out of his pants. And he's like, oh, this. I just took them for when I felt like it. Oh, this and that. And then Sully gets happy and whatever. And there's like, oh, this is going to be a great relationship with us together. Movie ends. Uncharted. And then you got 2 post-credit scenes, actually. One is you see a prison cell. And then the prison cell, it has Sam writing to Drake in the prison cell. Apparently, he didn't die. So he's alive. He's coming back in the sequel, maybe. Who knows? And then there's another scene where he's talking Drake in like a polo. Kind of looks like from Uncharted 3 with that flashback scene when he was younger. And then he's talking to this guy. He has his necklace, you know, the sick Parvis maglet with the ring. And he's trying to give it to this guy with an eye patch. And he's like, oh, this is for Roman. Or whatever. What do you want this for this because of Roman or whatever? And then Roman, I was like, oh, so it's the villain from Uncharted 1. They're talking about Roman. He's the next villain in the movies. Or in the game, he's the first villain in the first game. Roman. Okay. And then they had also Golden Gun, which is a reference to Eddie Raja, if you guys didn't know. And I was like, oh, okay, so Eddie Raja might be coming too with the golden pistol. And out of nowhere, the deal goes sour with the necklace, obviously, like Uncharted 3. And then Sully comes, and he's fully sullied up Mark Wahlberg. He's got the mustache, he's got Magnum, and he's ready to roll. He's in his flannel and his thing. It's significant. He looks just like from Uncharted 3 now. Now he's fully embraced Sully. And he has his little cat. For some reason, he likes a cat in the whole movie. That was a joke, running joke. Mr. Mittens or Kittens, I forgot. And then they leave. They take the necklace. They just you know, beat them. He beats the guy with the eye patch, the punch. And then they get out. I don't know what they got, but they got out. And he's like, oh, you don't want to know what people I have inside. It's like, I'd like to meet them, Drake says. They leave, and then they put their hands up because someone points a gun at them or something, both of them at the very end. And that's how it ends. That's the post-credit scene. That was the second one. Why was Mark not wearing a mustache from the very beginning of this movie? I do not know. What was the purpose of that? I don't know. They wanted to tell a prequel story, but Sully should have had the mustache from the beginning. They had parts in the trailer they didn't even put in the movie. They're misleading stuff in the movie that could have been really cool in the movie. Like the mustache. Doesn't mean it would be better, but it would immerse more because it's connecting to like the video games. It's connecting to more of like the video games. So it would be a little bit better if they actually cared, but they didn't care. They didn't. They really didn't. And it's really disappointing. And that's pretty much the whole movie. And it really disappointed me to that extent. It's still watchable. I'm not saying it's not. It's just, as I explained the whole movie right now, it's just meh. And I wish it was more than that. I wish this was the next Indiana Jones pulp adventure movie, adventure action movie with cool characters. Like I'm missing that kind of genre movie. I really am. And I wish it was, but it's not. It's again a disappointment. I would say it's still watchable. I highly recommend you still watch it though if you're an Uncharted fan. If you're not an Uncharted fan, I wouldn't even watch this movie. I would just maybe watch it, but I would just buy the games instead and play them all. You could just play them on your PS4 or they just remastered it on PS5. Just play those on your PS4. I'm telling you, PlayStation, just play them on there. Play all of them. They're cheaper than this movie is going to be. I was probably the same amount of disappointed as like the rebooted Tomb Raider. I feel the same way about them. They're both kind of just meh. I watched the Tomb Raider movie twice already, and I still feel like meh. And same with Uncharted. It's just meh. They really need to bring it to the next level for the second movie. I don't know what they're going to do, but they have to bring it to the next level. I don't know what they can do, how they can make it better. First of all, make it longer, more better villains, more better interactions. No interrogation scene, because Uncharted has a lot of like interrogation scenes with the villain, and he opens up to the character of the main character. They didn't have that in this. I would have just made this into a show, and I've been done. You know, show, prequel, origin story. You can do whatever you want. You have a roadmap to the games, so you can help yourself. But I feel like they just watched the cutscenes, didn't even play the games, and we're done. We finished the movie. You know, there's a lot of lore while playing the games too. They're talking in between scenes. Mostly just set pieces, the big moments. Some of the big moments were actually pretty cool. Now I'm thinking about it. It's pretty cool. Like the plane scene that was kind of like Fast and Furious. We picked up the ships. That was pretty cool too. Not gonna lie. That was cool. I wanted to see more. And I got... It's just poop altogether. Yeah. So yeah, guys. That's my review of Uncharted. I detailed review for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I still want you guys to watch the movie. Maybe you'll enjoy it. I don't know. If you're a fan of Uncharted, if you're not a fan of Uncharted, you're probably going to be just have like a popcorn flick, you know, action movie. Just watch it, turn your brain off a bit, and that's pretty much it. You might enjoy it, but I would recommend you guys play the game first. That's pretty much it, guys. Okay, check this review actually out on my Letterboxd. I put it in the description in the bottom. I really appreciate you guys checking this review out. And please, guys, please like and share and sub to this channel for more videos. I'd really appreciate it all if you could. And more videos like this to come. More reviews, maybe. Who knows if this video is pretty good. I'll do more reviews. Just brutally honest video review. I'm all Uncharted up. I'm all done. I'm ready to play the games again because they're better than this. But I still recommend you guys watch it. Maybe watch it when it comes out on other places like Netflix, Hulu, you know, Amazon Prime, all those places, HBO Max, all those places. When this movie comes out, watch it on that. Do not watch this on the movie theater, really. But if you do, I hope you have a good time with it. And hopefully they make a sequel that's actually better. But if you want to watch something, watch the Nathan Drake one, fan-made, Uncharted, by the Nathan Fillion plays Drake. Link it on the top for you guys. Check that out. I'd rather see that than this, guys. The fan-made is better than this. I'm sorry to say, but it is. But once again, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Stay safe. Stay positive. Stay happy.
Wow, what a review. Narrator out.